Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to set up the perfect template and the perfect Snapboard configuration for whatever your workflow is in FL Studio 20. This is something that I've found super useful and is really important if you find yourself doing the same thing over and over again before you even start making a beat. So if you haven't created any custom templates or anything like that before, this is what your FL Studio will look like. You'll just have the kick claps, hi-hat and snare, just the regular stuff. You'll have this really busy snapboard over here, and your mixer will be completely blank with just a limiter on the master. And I'm just going to go through step by step the way that I arrange my templates, how to save them, how to set it up, and basically how to save a lot of time getting started making beats and pretty much enhancing your creativity. Because if you save time on things you just do repeatedly because they're not set up properly, then you're going to be able to get your creative ideas down faster and in a more efficient manner. So let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is delete all of these because no one needs them. And then all we're going to do is fill this each with 2 steps. We're going to go in piano roll, and we're just going to set up the MIDI like so. So that's going to be our hi-hat MIDI. Then we're going to clone this, and this is going to be our clap MIDI. Go to piano roll, you highlight this, and you just duplicate that for 8 bars, and that's what it'll look like. And then something else that I like to do is just put in accent snare MIDI as well, but that's totally up to you if you want to do that or not. So now that we've got these, I'm just going to rename these. That's going to be the hi-hat MIDI, it's going to be clap MIDI, it's going to be accent snare. For some reason that didn't name accent snare. So we've got that set up. Something else that I like to do, I'll just rename this back to pattern 1. Something else I like to do is drag it into the second track here in case you want to drag a sample or something into the top of that. You don't have to have it that way. I just like having it that way because of it just looks right, you know? So the reason why I have these here pre-made is because these are generally things that you're going to have more often than not, especially for the clap. You're going to be doing the same pattern every single time, so why not just have it in a template saved? So now that we've got these set up, I'm going to go into the mixer here, and I'm going to go into this limiter. I'm going to make sure everything is detached so it shows up on top. I'm going to turn all these envelope symbols down, and then we're going to scroll that to the top, put a soft clipper next to it, just to make sure we're not clipping it all. That's what the limiter is for as well, but I find if you feed a limiter into a soft clipper, then it works the best. And here, usually these are optional. I like to load an instance of fresh air and just an EQ as well onto the master. And those are things that I like to do, as well as a stereo imager plugin onto the master, so I don't have to do that every time. And also on my first 2 inserts, I open up an instance of Fruity Parametric EQ with the 20 Hz and 18 kHz cut, just saved on there like this. Just to save a bit of time if I'm dragging in samples, because more often than not I need to take out the low end with this preset. But by default all the plugins are actually turned off. Also, anything that's going to be in this save file is going to carry over into your future projects. So if you have a preferred tempo, then whatever tempo you use is going to save it for every time you open up FL Studio. So just for the sake of it, we'll go 169 BPM because I think that's the most popular BPM. Okay, now that our channel rack and mixer is set up however we want, we are now going to move over to the Snapboard here, and 99% of all this here is not something you want to use. Is not stuff that you want to use, and you have 9, I think even 10 Snapboards that you can use. So basically what I like to do is just open up the folders that I want to keep, which are my samples packs, which are the default packs that come with FL Studio, and the downloaded samples that I have. And then you just go to this drop down arrow button and you go show only open folders. And then you can close them all again. And then you go back into this arrow down here and then show only one folder content, so that you don't have, like, say you've gone way down into like here, for instance. You can't then go down here and open up this with them both being open, because then it's going to be really difficult to find certain things if there's 15 different folders open at once. So that's basically all I do. Yeah, now it's all set up. What you want to do is you want to go save. You want to find your drive with your FL Studio downloaded. You go into there, and then you go into FL Studio into here, and then you go to projects, templates, and you save it in there. You name it whatever, custom. Save that, and then you have to close your FL Studio, and then when it boots back up, you're going to go to options, general settings, and then down here, and it will have popped up here, and you just select it. And then when you come up here, every time you click new, it's going to go to that custom preset template that you've used with your custom Snapboard ready to go for you. So if you did enjoy the video, like the video, I found that this really helps for the reasons I mentioned before. I just like having a clean, ready to go workflow that works for me. It's going to take a few goes to figure it out properly, to know what plugins you want and what plugins you don't want. Like, for instance, you could have an instance of a keys open, ready to go. If you just want to get straight into writing a melody, depends if you're a loop maker or a beat maker. This is something that you can do no matter what your workflow is or what things you use at all times. Like, you can just have them up ready to go. So yeah, that is going to be it. If you did like the video, like it, subscribe, hit the bell notifications to be notified next time I post a video. I appreciate you all for watching, and take care.